everyone else here, the faculty, student, or staff. You guys have 15 minutes, 10 minutes of which is going to be, you're basically going to tell us about your club, what you guys do, briefly. The majority of that 10 minutes of time we want you to spend on your line items, like what you're requesting and why. And then we're going to leave 5 minutes at the end just for questions from the committee that you guys may have. So no introductions are necessary, even though it would be nice, but just to get right into it. You guys have
Yeah, sure. Well, we are the Geology Club. Our purpose is to kind of initiate and cultivate and conserve casual professional interest in geology. We are an academic group, and it's pretty much open to all of campus. We do several events throughout the year. Our main thing that we're kind of extremely proud of is our speaker series. We bring in people locally, nationally, and in the past also internationally to give talks on certain geological topics. They also kind of intermingle in biology, chemistry, geography. So it kind of broadens the interest of a lot of members on campus and people.
Like Krista said, they are open to the campus and actually encouraged, advertised through campus emails, posters, and spread through all of the general education PIC classes that the department offers.
Yep. We actually get quite a lot of people to come to those, and it's really great to see. We get a lot of support from campus. And we also do potlucks after those talks where the students bring in food, and it gives a chance for a one-on-one talk with the speakers. I get to talk to them about graduate school, talk to them about possible research interests and whatnot. Also kind of a social group where we can talk with each other and share common interests. And then for the budget, so we're going to be asking $2,400 for pretty much for our speaker series, because some of them, they do have to travel quite a ways, and we reimburse them for their plane ticket or gas money and whatnot.
With that amount for our speaker series, generally we try not to give an honorarium to the speaker unless it is requested, because as soon as we give an honorarium, that generates a form from the university. It is it's not taxable income. However, they get that form, and then at the end of the year, when they're filing their taxes, that does have to get submitted with that. So it is an extra burden, both on the university, on us, and on the speaker. So we try not to give that unless requested, which is why we reimburse for travel.
Another thing we look forward to doing is Paleo Fest. It is at the Berkeley Museum in Rockford, Illinois. And we're going to be asking roughly $1,500 for that, for tickets, the rooms, and transportation. Thank you. That is also a great opportunity. It helps broaden our horizons, meet new people in the field, learn more things about paleontology. It's a great experience. And then we have, at the end of the year, we've always had a banquet. It gives out awards, scholarships, kind of goes over what we all did, trips we went through, etc. And in the past, we haven't exactly had the best numbers we wanted for that, because the price of the tickets can be pricey. So we were looking this year to get a little funding for that, so we can get more people involved and kind of lower the price of the tickets. It's under food and food service contract.
So is that the one at the Robbins Restaurant?
Yep.
That's our end of the year banquet. The biggest reason that we see a lack of attendance, and generally the people that are going are faculty members, graduating seniors, and then their families. But people have other students, undergrads, have expressed interest in going, but they can't afford the ticket to go to the banquet, which is covering their cost of the restaurant and food. So if we could get this subsidy for the banquet, we're allowing these interested students that could not otherwise afford to go an opportunity to join in our banquet.
Is that pretty much it? For items?
The last one is under advertising and notices. We have $55 on there, and that is for the purpose of advertising for our speaker series, and then also under printing and duplicating, that covers the cost of student research presentations, which are presented at the department's own faculty and student research presentation evening, as well as celebration of scholarship.
Couple things. Pizzas for one. We have a service food contract with like Domino's and Papa John's and Cletos, so your cost is not $11.50 for a pizza. So when you see that when you get your deliberation back for your decision on your budget, that your food price will go down, and that's because we're gonna give you access to we pay like $6 for pizza, for a large pizza. So we'll basically cut that price in half. Also, not entirely sure about the banquet one, especially since you stated that it's going to be parents and other people, because allocable dollars 100% cannot be used to support or do anything for non-students.
And can we specify then that that money only be applied to current students?
It could, but then the number would be off then.
Okay.
Would it be off then if you were going to take out you'd have to charge, if it's an event, you have to charge a certain dollar amount to non-students.
Okay.
And technically, we have a cap. I don't know what it is. Is it 15, 16 bucks? I think it's $15 for dinner, which is like a statewide UW system policy that we can allocate for food for individuals. I think it's 7, 12, and 15. I think it's the thing. 15.
Sounds right.
It's like $15 for dinner. So we would have to take 15 multiplied by how many students were going, and that would be the maximum that you could receive for the banquet. But we're very, very, because food is, and this is not just you, this is every club that we've talked to, food is one of the things that gets tended to be abused by. Because what we forget is that every student like this pays into segregated fees, and then we give clubs segregated fees, and if you're not charging your students for anything, and they're reaping rewards, or they're getting trips for like this traveling trip or whatever, if they're not paying anything to have a 2-day trip to a hotel or to a museum or whatever, it's paid for by everyone on campus. So that's where we're kind of like getting back at everybody. This is everyone's dollars, and if you're going to take part in the trips, we like to either see like club fees, like if you charge your members club fees, or fundraising attempts, or anything at least, not to meet us halfway, but at least show that you're contributing to the pot a little bit to offset the cost.
And there are club dues charged every semester. Yeah.
What are those? Because they're not listed on the spreadsheet. That would be like miscellaneous revenue. Is what, like if you had 20 club members and you charge $15 per semester or something like that.
It's $5 per semester, roughly 20 to 30 active members in the club.
Any fundraising at all during the semester?
We do a t-shirt sale during the year, which covers other club expenses that Oak State could not cover.
There's just something to keep in mind that when we deliberate that sort of thing, is something that we talk about is benefit to the campus is another person.
And Paleo Fest would be open to campus as well.
Right, but I'm saying it's more so that like usually when people like for like Brewers games or something like that or anything like that, clubs typically charge. They don't charge for the price of the ticket or whatever, but they say if you want to come on the trip, it's $25-$30 to spend 2 days in Illinois or whatever kind of a thing. We would like to see it shouldn't be traveling shouldn't be necessarily for, and this is just the way our PPM states or is stated, is it shouldn't be a free thing. It shouldn't be free trips for students paid for by students. You see what I'm saying? Is if someone who wasn't in geology club, even if the trip was open, it shouldn't be free. It shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So like we look to like the $5 per semester, that would go in your miscellaneous revenue sort of thing. Just something to keep in mind. Are there other questions from the community?
Yeah. What's the cost of the banquet per person, like for the dinner?
Last year, student tickets ran $20, parents and faculty ran $25.
Did you figure out what the average cost of a plate was at that time? I mean, would you be able to figure that out, knowing that you're going to have to pay the parents or, you know, off-campus people are gonna have to pay for their own plate.
Yeah.
Since you do this yearly, could you ask if like the Robbins restaurant would be able to offer a discount for it since it's a school event?
Are they even, I wonder if.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are they listed as, do you know if they're listed as one of the sort of approved places? I mean, there's a list of places that, you know,
But maybe they
we
could,
sort of work with, and you get,
but they could maybe
Hold
look at
on,
it at
hold
a
on.
charity sort of level
Hold
and
it,
see if they're.
hold it. I can pull it up. Let's see, Ray Woodsell, off-campus food vendors. Okay, so, Domino's, Shores, Rockies, Doritos, Golden Corral, Jimmy John's, Qdoba Pop. They're not listed as our
No.
vendors.
is Beckett's?
No. Dockside used to be, but it's no longer.
He said golden.
Golden Corral is, but no one wants to have a banquet at Golden Corral.
Did you say Lashers was on the list?
The Shores is on the list.
Okay.
As far as, they offer a certain discount, so like Papa John's is on our list, so like instead of paying $16.99 for a large pizza, we pay like $7 or $8 or whatever it is, so kind of help our costs, or since we do order large quantities from all these ones. But I will, personally, I'll look into what we can do about the banquet one, since the majority of your budget is fees and professional services, is food and service contracts and professional services. That's gonna be something that we're gonna look at, just because I wanna make sure it's not being abused, the student funding. And I'll look into that banquet thing, and I'll figure out what we can do with that, and I'll make some calls for you guys. Any other questions from the committee? Any other questions? No? All right, thanks you guys for coming in.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it, have a good day. All right, yes, you can live off that. Is it done?
I used to work for a church and it would be like $50 per person per meal, but we used to be able to talk. But we got able to talk, we talked
Hello,
about
Okay,
it.
how's it going? You can pass your sheets down this way.
Okay.
And then we'll just get right into it.
Okay.
My name is Nick Erd. I am the allocation controller. Everyone else here is faculty, students, or staff.
Okay.
You have 15 minutes, about 13 minutes, about 13 minutes to do your budget.
Okay.
Mainly, we want to know, just tell us what your group, your club, or organization's name is,
Okay.
what you guys generally do, and then the majority of the time we want to spend on your line items and leave the rest for questions.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, take the floor.
Yeah, first off, just my apologies on being tardy. I had class at 5 and I tried to get out early, but my professor would not allow that, so
That's fine.
apologize on that. So the Black Student Union, does everybody have a copy?
We'll pass it.
Pass it
Okay.
around now.
All right, the purpose of the Black Student Union is to create a positive outlook for our African American students, give them a voice on campus within the community. BSU focuses on unity, social, cultural programming, educational successes, expansion of leadership, and strong collaboration with other organizations and a useful resource on campus. The BSU concentrates on the repetition of failure, decreased numbers of African American students, and the lack of efficient contribution to the community, and is preparing for change by creating the stability and comfort for students physically, emotionally, academically, and culturally. Black Student Union encourages students to participation in development in this organization. This allows students to have the experience and the sense of being involved and having a voice in the BSU organization. The overall goal of the BSU is to strengthen through the university and motivate students involved and socially and culturally be aware while being academically successful. So that's our goal and our purpose. I'm Donovan Johnson. Sorry about that. I'm the Black Student Union president. And this is Nana Coleman. She's our vice president and has been the past treasurer for 2 years prior. So she helped us.
If you just want to go through the line items.
Okay.
We can just, because you guys have a lot of line items, basically just tell us the total, and then just kind of like if it's a bigger, like if you have, for example, like supplies that are like $20 or like the 50 supplies, you don't really need to divulge into that. We can kind of divvy it up. We want to more so talk about like your travel, your services professional,
Okay.
as well as food and food service contracts. So if you just want to hit those 3 line items, and then we can kind of ask questions if we have them.
All right.
The other stuff.
Well, as you see in November, our travel is the National Black Student Union Conference down in Lincolnshire, Illinois, what we do is we take our executive board members and including a couple members. So 8 is not always the number. Sometimes last year it was 12. So, but we just choose 8 because there are 8 positions on our board. It may increase or decrease. And what that is a conference for Black student unions across the nation. And what we go down there and do is, one, we usually take members who are planning to be on our board next year, so to kind of integrate them into a leadership experience and also help us as an organization become better. So we get tips from other organizations. They have workshops and things of that nature down there. So that's a conference that we've been going to even since before we were on the board. It's just something we also participate in. We are also what's called contributing members to that conference. And so part of our personal fund that when we fundraise, we give to the conference is like $110, and we're like national members of that organization also. So that's why that's right there. And then also field trips are on there. We have a bus we do a welcome back field trip or a welcome field trip if you're a freshman or a transfer student, and we usually go bowling into the movies. So that's also in our travel, and I believe we put that at $2,500, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why. The attendance for the conference is $330 per student, and then bus changes every year. So last year I believe it was $88 for a bus to Oshkosh Lanes. Our food is food and service we request $3,500. Couple reasons for that. The Black Student Union commemorates Black Thursday, which is the kind of origin of our organization and why it started. So every year we throw a commemoration ceremony for that. Black History Month is a big part of what our organization does. So we throw multiple ceremonies, workshops, events, and things of that nature open to the campus and the community, and we have food at those events. And then also during our study-a-thons, and our meetings, we throw a couple of our meetings will have food for our bigger meetings and for our welcome back at the beginning of the semester, end of the semester, and our finals meetings. We have food there, so that's why we requested $3,500 with that. And then professional services and miscellaneous is we have a sponsorship with the other departments on campus as well as ourselves. So we like to bring speakers on campus. So primarily during Black History Month is mostly speakers. We had a speaker, excuse me. We had a speaker earlier this year, and we were actually in our exec board meeting trying to bring 2 speakers in February and 1 in April. So that's what that's for. And it's also for professional services for if we throw an event, we threw a homecoming party, and we had to pay the DJ. So it was for things like that.
And most of the time too, we do like coordinating activities for the men as well.
Yeah. So if like for example, like Nana was talking about, I believe during Social Justice Week, the Department of Affirmative Action and Equity with Pamela Lassiter, they're trying to bring Michael Eric Dyson on campus, and they asked us to help co-sponsor along with other organizations. So we also do things like that, just help to bring speakers and things that we think will be beneficial for our organization and the campus at large to contribute to that. So.
Only thing I'm gonna caution you on is when we deliberate, and I see that you guys last year had requests, actually for your current year have a request of 11.6, and then now so it's cut down significantly. The only thing I'm gonna, even though you guys did that, which is great that you guys rebudgeted, is it gets kind of sticky situation as far as the Black Thursday commemoration thing. The 50 guests part is very, very huge in as far as allocations go.
Okay.
Because what happens is allocation, the money that we have is derived from people paying into segregated fees, and then we get segregated fees money. So segregated fees comes from all students on campus, and it specifically states in our policies and procedure manual that no student fee can go to benefit non-students.
Okay.
So like if you were to have the guests, even if you charge them $5-10, you're in the clear.
Okay.
But you wouldn't be able to provide a free service to people who weren't students. So if you charge $5-10 for that, you could also show that as revenue that you guys are generating.
Okay.
Just want to caution when I send you guys an email saying like here's the budget that we have for you, and I'll put notes in there about kind of like suggestions or why we derived at a number, and that might be one thing. Or we might make a recommendation that you charge $5 per guest or something like. Even $5 is, which is very minimal compared to the food that they'll get for it.
Yeah.
Still is not a free service that's provided by campus. It's the only thing.
Okay, just a comment. The 29 guests that is never 20, but the 9 guests that we do invite are alum of the university. I don't know if that counts for anything.
Well, I'll write it down and
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
Well, because we invite like for example Dr. Richard McGregory, he worked down at Whitewater. People who they are people who had a direct influence on the Black Student Union early who are alum. It's not just I guess specifically for this.
No,
one.
no, I
Yeah,
understand that.
So this is more, I think, in the line of like, say that, I brought my wife, if I was married.
Yeah,
But if I brought my wife, she's not a student here.
Yeah.
So in that case, we'd have to pay
Okay,
for her.
okay.
That's the kind of thing that we're looking at.
Okay.
So we'll talk, and if there is a question, then before we make a decision on it, I'll call you or I'll email you, and
All right.
we'll sit down and we'll talk about that specifically. That's
Sounds
the only
good.
thing that I see really that is kind of gray area as
Okay.
far as that thing.
And you said you do fundraising? You guys
Yes,
do fundraising?
yes.
Do you have any type of dues or whatever?
Yes, we I'm sorry, I'm getting over the cold. We do $10 for the year, and what that goes for is fundraising, and for the fundraising we either pay for another bus or we do another field trip. If we do a field trip, we might pay for it with that. We buy Black Student Union T-shirts. No, yeah, we go we went to the haunted house, and so we try to use personal and fun things outside of our allocated funds. We try to do things, and we also use our parties for fundraising, Valentine's Day events for fundraising, so things like
How
that.
large your membership?
For 40 members, last year we had 44 paid members. This year I think we have 41, somewhere between 39 and 41. So,
Cool.
Okay, thank you guys very much for your time.
all
I
right.
appreciate it.
Do you guys need the rest of these?
Yes.
We printed out 15 total.
Yep. No, we have to hand them out when we deliberate. There's
Okay.
more than this.
Okay.
This month that are there.
Well, yeah, this 15 total. So,
Right. Okay.
and thank you guys for your time. Thank you for seeing us.
No problem. What is?
I forget you have to reschedule.
Yes, I did. I did already. It's for this Tuesday.
Okay.
Yep, I did it right when I left.
On election day?
Levi. Oh, that is.
Right.
Levi Hakeem Miles. It was a boy.
Okay.
That's his name.
Cool.
So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys can take a seat over there and pass the sheets down this way. All right, welcome to student allocations. My name is Nick Erd. I am the controller. Everyone else sitting here is students, faculty, or staff. You guys have 15 minutes. Sorry. Do you guys have a copy for your record too, by the way?
Yep.
You have 15 minutes, 10 minutes of which you're basically going to tell us about your club.
Okay.
And then that part's very brief. The majority of that 10 minutes we want you to spend on the individual line items, why you're requesting the amount that you're requesting, what it's for, kind of thing. Then we'll leave 5 minutes at the end for any questions. First question I have for you, are you guys a new club this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, this year? Well, we started at the spring semester last
Yeah.
But you guys didn't have funding last year?
No.
No, we did not have
So
funding
this is
last
the,
year.
Yeah.
or this year then, right?
What?
Do you have funding this year?
No, we don't have any
So this is for
funding
next
right
year?
now.
Yes.
All right, just check, because you weren't on the spreadsheet, I wanted to make sure that wasn't lost.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry, when you say line item, do you mean this one or this
Basically just tell us what your club is, and then you wanna say like rent,
one? Okay.
supplies, the smaller items, you can just, I don't think your budget was that.
Yeah, like the rent leases is $25.
Okay.
Yeah, just tell us what it is, and if we have
Okay.
questions at the end, we'll ask you about it specifically. It's very, very general, and then if we have questions, we'll ask you.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead.
So the Social Justice Club, what we're about is to create an environment to like further the learning of social justice outside of the classroom. And social justice, if anyone's like not familiar with the term, it basically looks at issues of inequalities and underrepresentations that happen just from like how, you know, we all have to interact with each other on this planet because we all share together. But it doesn't just look at humans, it looks at like how humans interact with the environment and wildlife and stuff like that. And so what we do is, like, first of all, as a club, we provide an atmosphere for social justice-minded people to interact with each other and to network with each other. We are not exclusively just for people that are social justice minors. There's quite a few people that come to our meetings that don't have the minor at all, but they just come because like some of them are part of other organizations and they want to do collaborative work. We've done a lot of collaborative work since we have been started. Actually right now, a lot of our members are at the boat stock celebration. It's being put on by the Women's Advocacy Council, and basically they're hosting there's a debate that's going on, a friendly debate between college Democrats and the college Republicans, and the Women's Advocacy Council asked us to show up and just ask questions, challenge them to like talk about the issues like in a social justice manner. So that's one aspect of the club. The other aspect is to provide people with the opportunity to do hands-on exercises that relate to social justice. One example is we were involved in Take Back the Night, and a lot of our members actually wore T-shirts representing the silhouettes that used to be outside the Christine Ann Center. Since they were knocked down, they asked us if we would wear shirts and walk around and play the role of the silhouettes so other people can see. Is there anything either of you want to say?
No, not about the club, our purpose. I think you did a good job covering
Do I need
that.
to go through any more about it? Okay.
For next year, I mean, keep in mind too, we're a fairly new club, so a lot of this is, we didn't have a budget to base this off. It's what we think we would probably need, based off what we're doing this year. Our big costs are printing and duplicating. We are a fairly new club, and so one of our big things right now is increasing our members. We have about 30 members on our mailing list right now. About 10 of them come to meetings and stuff, so it's a good start, but we'd like to get that. So printing, posters. We do a lot of collaborations with other groups. For example, this year we're doing Circle of Perspectives, so helping out with the advertising costs for that. I took the pricing. We took the pricing from Copy This. And then supplies, we would like to hand out like buttons and pens during Taste of Oshkosh. And then one thing we would like to do for Social Justice Week next year would be to get t-shirts for club members, not everyone, but exec board at least, and whoever like really helps out with that. And that'd be another way to get the word out more and to get people involved. And then also working with Tunnel of Oppression, just funds to help with any supplies that might come from that. This year we're doing the Hunger and Homeless Room. And miscellaneous, anything else that might come up. One thing that's kind of a long-term goal is we'd really like to start an annual camp out. To help promote Hunger and Homeless. There's a Hunger and Homeless Week in November, and we want to get like a speaker and just talk about hunger and homeless issues. So some of our miscellaneous expenses would go to that.
Just letting you know, t-shirts typically do not get funded through
Okay.
allocations. The only time it does is if it's for the club as a whole, but typically those come from member dues that they pay
Okay.
for it. We can't actually, like, if you have an event, like for example, Social Justice Week, that's one event, that's technically not for the only time, the t-shirt rule is something along the lines of like if it's for the club as a whole, not just for a specific purpose. So
Okay.
like, for example, like a homecoming event, we wouldn't sponsor t-shirts. Social Justice Week, we wouldn't be able to sponsor t-shirts. If it was for the club as a whole and you guys provided some of the funding for it,
Okay.
then we could like meet you in the middle on it, but we can't actually, like if every club wanted t-shirts, you could see how it would get out of hand really quickly. So that's the only thing that I saw in your budget that's really questionable as far as something that we'll have to look at. And then when we deliberate and you guys are in a club, so it's not like you didn't know that. Still clubs that have been around for 20 years still do the same thing. But when we deliberate and we send you the email with the response as far as what your budget is, I'll put in a note and say what changes were made and what to do for next year. And then if you guys want to come and meet in our office hours anytime to talk about how to budget or what to do for next year when you guys have this process again, doors almost always open, so stuff like that. Any questions for?
What did you all do in terms of trying to prepare this budget? Did you try to talk to any other clubs or organizations to get a sense of how it was put together?
There was the allocations meeting,
Okay.
and then we sat down as a club and we're like, okay, well, what do we think we would want to spend money on? it was a lot of just kind of, well, we know like clubs do buttons and pens for Taste of Oshkosh, so how much does that cost? Is this something, you know, that's fairly affordable? Because of time constraints, there wasn't a lot of time to really talk with other clubs.
And we looked at, you know, different budgets proposed by
Yep.
other different club groups. I know Sarah said that you guys mentioned that the BSU's budget was like really well put together, so that's one that we really focused on and tried to, you know, see what they did and match it.
Okay.
Who's your advisor?
We have 2 advisors right now. One of them is Courtney Crowder. He's the new director of the social justice program. The other one is Karen Aspenson, and she's a professor in the counseling department.
Nope, social.
Or social department, that's what I meant.
Any other questions for SJUC? I thank you guys for your time. Appreciate you guys coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks. Enjoy your day. Tell Courtney and Renardo say hello.
Okay.
All right.
We'll be there.
Is there another one out there?
Our chairs are empty.
That's fine. We're a little ahead of schedule. Not. We've been 10 minutes ahead pretty much every single meeting now, which is amazing because last year's meetings go from like 15, 20 minutes. Oh, I thought you were opening the door for someone. Why were you looking at me in the eyes?
It's like 10 degrees warmer out there than it is in here. Yeah.
Wow. My goodness gracious.
Here it is. Life is hard
It's
sometimes.
the smallest valid.
Playing the world's saddest song.
Take some cheese too.
I bet you wish you had somebody go out and start up your car so you can warm it up before you can go outside, huh?
He's not.
Oh, I'm not
I
offering.
was gonna say it didn't sound.
Ken's gonna hop on his bike and ride home.
I just
I'm
have
not
my,
wearing enough layers today, apparently.
Huh?
So I'm not wearing enough layers today.
I just have my girls up here for the coming here. Seriously.
Is this the last day they have to present?
Oh yeah, this is the last
Okay.
day. We've already did this Tuesday. We did it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah.
And then this is Tuesday, this is our last day. So we had 7 of these so far.
So what type of, I guess, budgetary workshops do you offer for clubs as they're trying to put this stuff together?
We put on, you mandatorily have to attend a budget manager meeting.
Okay.
And if you don't attend the meeting, you cannot submit a budget. We had a check-in and everything that you have to check your sign-in that you were there and you were at the presentation. And then I put a template on our website, and at the budget manager presentation, that there was a PowerPoint as far as kind of where line items are supposed to go, how to do travel as far as like the fleet vehicle mileage reimbursement, what type of food they can and cannot use, just basically general guidelines. If they had specific questions, they could come to our office and ask us.
Okay.
And then I put the template online, and then they filled it in and sent it back to us. A
So,
lot of these clubs have past budgets that they reference, and then they just use that as kind of like a guideline.
Okay. Because just in truth, it looks like, you know, no one is saying, well, we charge membership dues. Like, those are the types of things that,
I personally, this is just
You
my
should-
personal opinion, believe that every club should charge a membership due just because if you
right, and if you
request
do,
money-
I'm like, it should be reflected in your.
A lot of them do though.
Budget of some
Today was a
sort.
weird day as far, a lot of the clubs that we have, they have like miscellaneous revenue listed as far as like what they collect for
Okay.
club wise. We actually had a club that raised $40,000 collectively for their budget, and then they only requested like 15,000 extra after that,
Gotcha.
which is pretty
Oh,
neat.
we're still being recorded. Oh, well.
Is this club in here though? Is there no
No,
outside?
there's nobody outside.
And what major is everyone in?
I'm an accounting major.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can see that. How about you?
Political science.
Oh, okay. Do you know Jerry Thomas?
Yep.
And,
Kruger?
yes, and his Kruger. Both of them are really good friends of mine. How about you?
Environmental studies and geography.
Okay. I've been meaning to tell you, I really love the tattoos. I'm a little envious. I've always wanted to get tattoos, just really can't do it with what I do in my line of work. So, and what major are you?
Accounting and finance.
Okay.
Well, I hope that's not true, because I'm going for my PhD, so, with
Well,
the tattoos.
it's not so about PhD,
Yeah.
but you know, I can't go into a meeting with the provost with
Oh.
tattoos on my hand and stuff of that
Yeah.
sort.
I know I'll never get a teaching
And
job, but I
I'm
do
a wuss,
something.
I have to acknowledge. I don't do well with pain. So that's the main reason why I've not gotten tattoos.
Some of them are painful, some aren't so bad. Some aren't so bad.
I really love it when people have them, and I'm jealous, but I can never do it because I just can't muster through the idea of pain from a tattoo.
I have 6, but all mine are elbow and up and below my
Well,
collar.
you know, most of,
You can hide those and
Because if I'm in an office setting, I just think if I whenever I get a tattoo, and I'm getting another one next weekend, but I put a pole shirt on, and then I figure out where location wise I can put it so it's not, because like especially when you get sleeves that like come up a little bit, so I make sure that everything is above my elbow and then below like.
keep in mind now you're gonna get older, so things may shift.
I know, but I'm also a PT though, so I plan on keeping this tight as long as I can.
Okay, all right, I feel you. I'm gonna
Yes,
bathroom.
yeah, go ahead.
We'll
You don't
see
have to
what's
be
done.
here. You don't want to be. It's not a mandatory thing. I'm mad at this close.
You kids and your tattoos.
well, I used to own 3 studios.
You did?
Yeah, I used to do tattoos and piercing. Did it for a living for a while.
Didn't want cash anymore?
I loved it. My wife talked me out of getting out of it. I let my wife
And then-
talk me into
And then
it.
you got divorced.
And then I
you
got
went back?
divorced, and that was that. And I know I never went back.
Hmm.
No, I had been tattooing and piercing for years. I had 3 shops, and then my wife, I met her. She had 2 children already, and then she got pregnant. And she kept on me about, you know, as a business owner, you don't have insurance, all that crap, you know, it was all cash. And she was always on me about, well, the kids need insurance for medical and blah, 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 so I finally broke down.
Why'd you get a job?
And then she bitched at me, that I wasn't making enough money, and I'm like, okay, you know, you made me give up the tattooing where, you know, I was easily making, I was making 6 figures a year.
Bank, yeah.
And then
Easily.
and then turn around and then turn around and, you know, I went and did trucking. You know, yeah, I'm not gonna make the money. You got your insurance now, but I don't have the money. So,
She should have gotten a job that had insurance.
I mean, a part-time job or badger care.
well, she was on state.
Badger care.
That is
Are you
insurance.
really that?
I know, but that was, you know,
Yeah.
when I got involved with her, I could, you know, I'm not gonna
I almost took my sweatshirt off.
But yeah, I actually checked around because, like, when I was in college before, I had this arm done because of my field, you know, study. The hands and then some of the other work, that was when I got, you know, when I started getting into tattooing and piercing.
Well, you don't
and
want
I
to get
got
a
the
tattoo from
shops.
someone with no tattoos.
So,
That's not-
Sure.
Right.
I've never had a tattoo. I actually turned, like, she's like, oh, you ready to do your tattoo? I'm like, do you have any tattoos? She goes, no. I'm like, I do not want a tattoo. Do something.
The only ones I wish I probably wouldn't have done with the hands, but I actually did some talking to professors in my field.
Thank you.
And most of them told me it's not going to be an issue, especially at the size university I want to teach at. I don't care about being a Harvard or some crap like that.
Can you check outside, please, for me, Chantal?
I used to keep mine above the sleeve line, but then they just.
And it hasn't stopped me from doing internships here, you know. I mean, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much.
All right. Well, I'm gonna cancel the 5:45.
You should cancel the rest of them tonight, man.
We only have seriously 4 more to go. It's been 123 groups. That's, if you think about it, we've been able to. I think just because of the pace that we've been setting, because I told Rayanne to put in the email like 10 minutes beforehand, just in case. And first of all, what's the worst thing? You're 10 minutes early. What's the worst thing that happen? But majority of the time, we're like waiting for like, oh yeah, you're good. It's 5:35. We're out due for 5:45. That's fine. Just getting it out, get your stuff on the way, and then it also leaves us like 20 minutes. Then if we have a club that just had massive problems or
Yeah.
extensive budgets.
That or somebody that wants to ask questions when we're in a hurry.
Right.
You know what she's like. I mean, they're like.
How many members do you have?
I feel like she should just have a sign and just.
Yeah.
And Chantel's questions, members, dues, okay.
That's
good.
all. And his question is always fundraising your club
Fundraising,
dues.
yeah.
And that's why I said like I don't want to say your question and then you're like, oh, you won't, and you're like, like, how many club members or how many member dues do you have? I'm like, damn, I was gonna say that. And then my thing is always the food thing. I always, right away I tell people about food thing, usually like the travel thing, and then like t-shirts is pretty common too.
And student assistance.
Now the T-shirts, I took their, I heard what they said, and I see where you got your idea from. But I took their T-shirt spit because though they said it was good, you know, they mentioned that week they were talking about getting T-shirts for the members. They specified T-shirts for their members, so that's sort of how I
In the
looked at it.
proposal, it said for social justice
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
Hi,
I'm here for the 5:45.
come in.
Do you have your 15 copies?
Yes, I have.
Have
Can
some
you-
people now.
Mercy.
I'll take your copy.
Be nice.
Me?
Yeah, be
I
nice.
didn't, no, I was talking to Cody.
Man, Jim must have warned him about you, huh? First day he's-
Oh, I've been around the block for many a years, so I've been around the block a number of years. So. What is Jayhawks?
This is just actually it's funny where I got this T-shirt. I got this from the sweatshirt from the most sketch place in Oshkosh probably. Like I randomly heard about a sweatshirt convention thing, and like I went to the Oshkosh, what's the one on Jackson, the convention center or Sunnyview Expo Center, and it was just like a gypsy fest where like there was stereos for sale.
Semi-trailers
Yeah.
full of.
It was cash only and like yeah. Anyway.
So sketchy.
Welcome to Allocations. My name is Nick Erd, I'm the controller. Everyone else here is either faculty, student, or staff. You have 15 minutes to tell us about your budget. Just tell us about your club, what you guys do briefly. The majority of the time, you're going to tell us about the individual line items and what you're requesting and why, and then we're going to leave 5 minutes at the end for questions. So
Okay.
the floor is yours.
Okay, so we're in the Sweatshirt Club. I think this year is the 4th year of us on campus, and right now we're kind of still in the starting level because we don't have a lot of club members, but we're trying to keep recruiting. And our own mission is to share the Chinese culture, the traditional Chinese culture with the native students right here on the Oshkosh campus. Personally, I'm an international student from China, so hopefully that will bring some of my personal experiences to the club and sharing with the students right here.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Total budget, everyone, $957.50. Or
That's on the spreadsheet.
Is it? Do you have it attached?
Well, it's just a proposal that I brought here.
Can you say that
The
again?
total, yeah, but I'm telling them what the total request is. It's $958.
It's what's on the spreadsheet.
What spreadsheet?
The
The one that you sent me?
Excel.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying for
Just
everyone,
let
they all
us
need to
know.
know what the total amount is. So I was telling them, the committee.
Well,
Oh, it's fine. You can keep
Yeah, you're
presenting.
good, man. It's
Yeah,
just
you're
we don't
fine.
have- We don't have the spreadsheet.
You didn't-
We have-
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You can
I
keep
don't have the
presenting.
spreadsheet with me today. I just have the proposal.
Right.
That's fine.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I was telling the committee what the
Okay.
total was.
I'm sorry about
Just for, yeah. Go ahead, continue.
I have a all-day class and I'm a little bit stressful, so.
It's fine.
Continue, go ahead.
Okay, so, our, so I just started actually.
Yeah.
To talk about our mission. This is Evelyn, she's our vice president. So I just started talking about the mission part and,
We actually don't need the mission part. Just the line items is fine.
okay.
Because we can read the mission stuff.
Oh,
We just-
okay.
while you guys are here, because we have to deliberate later, we just want you to talk about why you guys are requesting the funds, so that
Oh.
when we talk about it, we can say they said this or whatever. So more so the line items is what
Alright.
we'd like to spend on.
Okay, so the biggest part of our requesting is mainly of the field trip to Chicago. We're doing this for 2 years, I believe. We just done it like last month. So during the trip, the main cost will be the rent of the van from the university, and it will be the rental fee and also the gas. And during the trip in Chicago, we will be paying for our members for the food as well, because we believe that Chinese food is a big part of our culture. And another big part of the cost will be the Lantern Festival event that we are planning to do with the Chinese Culture Club in Stevens Point. We're trying to do it with them. So we will take our members over there to Stevens Point. So the cost will also be the rental van and also the entrance fee for our members to their event. And some other costs will be the food that we will provide to our members during our meetings regularly, and also some drinks and snacks. Yes, and another thing is that there's a new event that we're starting this semester. That is we're starting a Tai Chi class on campus. Actually, we're inviting a Tai Chi instructor from the Oshkosh Tai Chi Center to give our students presentations here on campus. So let them experience the traditional martial art. So this is most likely just gonna be some snacks and drinks that we can provide to the students. And because next for the budget for next semester, because we have a lot of events that were not determined, so we're not very sure what's going to happen next semester. So that's kind of critical. But I actually have a question: is that if there are some events that we are not sure what's going to happen, how is that mean that we're not going to budget on these meetings?
I don't understand the question.
I think you're asking, if something comes up that because you don't know what's going on yet, can you ask for money?
I probably don't know right now at this point.
I'm guessing is what you're asking.
Right now, this budget is not for this year. You do know.
I mean for next year.
For next year, you're saying when spring comes along and you guys didn't plan for something? There is a one-time request fund, but it's very limited.
Oh, okay.
So that's why the budgeting is very crucial, because we only leave about 20,000 or so. It might be even less than that. I'm pretty sure it's like 15 to 20,000, but that usually is for like capital purchases when people like buy equipment or computers or something of that nature. That's like one time. So like the chess club, for example, used a one-time request this year to buy chess boards and clocks. That's what that money's for. It's not because of, for lack of a better word, bad planning. If something does come up where like you guys want to take a trip that you guys didn't budget for, you can submit a one-time request, but it's not guaranteed that it'll get proposed.
Well, I don't think that's gonna happen, because the trip is most likely just the 2 trips in each semester. That's about it.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys need extra funding, then after that, it's one-time request fee.
Okay.
But that's why we try to budget as best as possible,
Okay.
because then we try not to use that one-time request fee.
Yep.
Okay. So supplies of 100, we got food and food service.
Yes. Is there any questions?
I guess that's kind of straightforward. The food and food service part.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions from anybody on the committee?
How many members do you guys have?
Currently right now. Do you mean the total members or the active members?
Can you use both?
We have registered members for around 300.
Well,
active members, right? As I heard from our president, our registered members around 300, and from the meetings, the current active members around 20.
Okay.
So you have 300 people that you would classify as members, and then you have 20 people that attend your meetings?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions for Chinese culture? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate your time.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
good day. Alrighty. More to go. Chantal, if you wouldn't mind letting me see your club minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thursday is my business day, class from 9 till 4:30, and I had a good meeting after that, and then from the meeting.
I don't miss the days. I don't miss the days.
All right, have a good rest of the day.
You too.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Hopefully you're done for the day, right?
Uh,
Now you
not
got home and
really.
do homework, right?
Not really. I have a brotherhood event on 7th, so.
See you
Take
guys
care.
later.
How painful was the one around your neck?
Fell asleep, both of them.
Are you shitting
Actually,
me?
all three of them, because I've got the center and the two sides that dozed off.
Oh my god.
I'm really looking for doing that.
I'm sorry.
Every time,
Yeah.
We're making
every
this
time
awkward.
Cody asks the
That's
question,
actually-
Cody will get this. Can I have a big Cody?
Yeah.
Alright, you guys have your 15 minutes?
Next time you ask a question,
Yeah.
just look straight across.
You might as well just join allocation if you're gonna come to all the meetings.
Yeah, I was supposed to be here for the Mac.
You want that one?
Yeah.
Someone was here at least. Alright, welcome to allocation. We're gonna get started right away. My name is Nick Erd. I'm the
Could someone
controller
shut the door?
for allocations. Everyone else here is either faculty.
Okay. Okay.
It's open here.
Okay.
I need one more. Oh, yes.
And if it was clean.
Alright, so welcome to allocations. I'm Nick Erd. I'm the controller. Everyone else here is either faculty, student, or staff. You have 15 minutes. Basically, the first 10 minutes, you're going to briefly tell us about your club, the name, and what you guys do. The majority of the 10 minutes, we'd like you to spend on your individual line items, basically telling us why you're requesting that much and how you arrived at the numbers. And then we're going to leave 5 minutes at the end for any questions. So if you guys want to go ahead, take it away.
Okay. My name is Chua. I am the treasurer for this club in Hong. Our club focuses on all aspects of the Japanese culture. So it can range from politics to news, history, probably some pop culture in Japan. The members don't have to be Japanese and they don't have to speak Japanese to be in this club. It's open to all college students, I believe. Then other line item. Oh yeah, our club meets every other week, and what else? I think that's, they meet every other week. So every other week is for club meeting, and every other week is for the officers meeting. And then for the narrative summary, if you look at line item 21XX, we are requesting 1,860 for travel. The club organizes 2 trips to Mitsuwa. And Mitsuwa is a Japanese shopping complex in Arlington Heights. We are also, for the first semester, we also go to Milwaukee's Folk Fair. And the trip to Mitsuwa costs roughly around $660 based on the past
Bus sizes.
bus size and the bus runs. And Milwaukee's Folk Fair costs roughly around $540.
That was kind of wild.
The purpose of going to Mitsuwa is so we can expose our members to a Japanese language.
Just have like Japanese experience. That here only Chicago has a big Japanese grocery store, so there are many Japanese food and people working there, and then they can have experience there.
Yeah, everything from the language to the labels of items, it's all in Japanese, so they have a feel of how it's like shopping in a Japanese store. For line item 23XX, we are requesting $90 for the use of Pollock House during Japan Week and for renting projectors at our regular meetings. For line item 2620, we are requesting $250 for during Japan Week to find keynote speakers and possibly find a DJ, a karaoke DJ that does international songs, as well as standard American music. For line item 2670, we are requesting $52 to make posters and promote our Taste of Japan, and also, what else was it? Japan Week and Taste of Japan, yes. For line item 3165, we are requesting $640 total. For $200 will be going towards Japan Week during Asian Heritage Month, and $100 will be going towards Taste of Nations, which is, I think we do also, right? Taste of Nations, Taste of Japan. And $240 will be going towards our first and last meeting. And we also have Japanese food night. This occurs once a semester. And we make, we do food demonstrations. So we can't use the kitchens here in Reeve. So we would go to either one of the student halls and use their kitchen to do food demonstrations. Yeah. And that's basically it. That's all that we are requesting. So we are requesting $2,892.
Couple things.
Yeah.
Back page, I saw on every almost I think 1, 2, 3, 4 of your events listed. You have non-students listed as participating in the events. Who are non-students that are going on these trips?
These are like if the members wants to take their parents or a friend that's not a student.
Problem with that is they have to pay for it. Then.
Yes,
Yeah.
they pay $5 or like 5 to 10 or depending on.
As long as you guys are aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you also need to show when you guys sell something to a non-student, it has to go in your budget as far as miscellaneous revenue.
Oh, okay.
That top line item. So like when you go on a trip and you say that there's going to be 5 people who are non-students going on the trip to Illinois.
Okay.
First of all, for that trip, you may want to expense a little bit more because in Illinois
Okay.
for clubs, but that's just a recommendation.
Yeah.
And then you have to show that you're charging for that, and then we take that into account when we. Because if you, let's say the bus trip was $500,
Okay.
I'm just using a number,
Yeah.
and you collect $100 from that from selling it to non-students, we would give you $400 for that trip because you're collecting money.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Okay.
Because what we don't want to happen is we don't want to pay for a trip and then have you collect money on the side of it, because then technically you make money off of
Yeah.
$100 and that's
Okay.
that's bad. So anyway, so it's kind of one of those things where you want to, for future reference,
Yeah.
when you guys are charging and when you're selling tickets.
Yeah.
I know this is an estimate for next year or whatever, but if you charge $10, you want to put $50 in miscellaneous
Okay.
revenue,
Okay.
stuff like that
Okay.
for 10 students.
All right.
This is the only thing I was really going to caution you on.
Okay.
Anything else from you guys?
Only question I have is memberships, you know, how many members do you have?
It ranges. Usually at the beginning it's around 25 to 30, and then towards the middle of the semester, students have like exams.
Sure.
There's probably 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Pretty straightforward for everybody. Okay. All right, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Did you guys have your November sign up last meeting or anything for the international trip this year for the book fair?
We haven't done. We haven't had a sign up for that yet.
So many times.
Did you want to?
Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
What did you ask?
I asked if they had that sign up last week when I was reading. I'm a member of that club.
Are you?
Yeah. That's why I couldn't come to the first day of budget hearings. I went to Chicago.
I'd come just during the food times.
It was fun. We played with chopsticks and M&Ms.
I don't care where, man. I love different everything food.
We have like hot tea at every meeting.
Huh?
We have hot tea at every meeting.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right, so just want to preface the next group. They have a budget this year of $623.
Oh, tonight. I mean, yeah, okay.
Their budget for this year is $623, and they're requesting $8,000.
Ooh, big hop. Wow.
I don't really know. They had 2,000. I don't understand what they're.
So it went up like.
I don't
Went
even.
up a lot.
I couldn't even tell you percentage as far as increase, but it's weird because
1,000%.
they. Huh.
Which club is it?
SWEA.
I guess they're under the assumption to ask for the stars, take what you get.
Student W.
That's the wide net.
That's how most of it works usually.
Yes, sir.
Not only for students, but for staff. We understand that concept.
I think this committee is really good at being able to like, all right, come on, seriously, let's think about it logically. I think this year more than last year. Last year was kind of like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, apparently, because you spent
I
all
was
the
not on the
money.
committee last
Oh,
year.
okay, you did.
You can't say you
But
spent it.
But
I wasn't here.
But used as part of the committee now. so.
That's why I got appointed this year.
That's why.
Jesse Casperson, because of how bad it went last year as far
Spend
as
all the
the
money.
accountability. Well, the accountability, the fact that they had two different master spreadsheets and didn't know which one was the right one, and all that other stuff. The meetings went awful as far as time commitments, and they weren't prepared, and they took like 3 weeks after budget hearings had been done to compile a spreadsheet. She's like, "Can you just do it for 1 year?" And I was like, "I'll do it, I guess." So I was no.
So you know that his position will be up after.
You can take mine. You can take my spot, except
And you
for,
are an accountant. Now, you're not as mean as he, well, I shouldn't say that. You're
He's
pretty-
not mean.
I'm just very stern, I guess, is a better way to put it. I mean,
Until we have to chop you a little
I
bit.
actually
No, no.
like that you got some order, you know.
no,
just-
no. And I
I think I would add that they should write how many club members they have on their budget.
of course you wish that.
You
Then
know,
but if
that's
they
the
did
question I
that,
ask
if
every
they
time.
did that, then you would have no purpose on the committee.
Is that my whole purpose? Like,
Well, besides the
how many
staple
club
and the 3 volt.
meetings?
I'm just kidding.
I rock the
If
staple.
SWEA comes outside, let me know. That is 5 minutes fast. And like I said, I came from a military household where if you're not early, you're late. So like that's why I put the 10 minutes early thing on the thing. Is
Because, you know,
if you're at
How I was raised, man.
6:15.
I know.
do you eat faster than like everybody else around
Yep.
you?
No, I don't.
I do too, because I was married to
Well,
the military, and like he would be done
At
McDonald's and be like, it's time to go.
See, now that, I was different. I didn't get that, the food part I didn't get while growing up, because my dad, dad was Navy, but we ate regular at home, but I was in Marine Corps. And there, it was shove the food down, get the hell out, So, I've slowed down though in my age. The gray hairs have kicked in.
How old are you?
44.
Oh, I'm older than you.
That's good.
I noticed
mean-
that when I needed
Made me feel good, man. Sorry.
I'm 58.
Really? Now that I would have never guessed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate
I
that.
figured you were right around my age or something.
No, 58.
Oh wow. Damn, you're ancient, man. Shit.
Well, that's all right.
That's all right.
No, I'm not really 58, but
My parents are 58.
I lie
Your
about my
parents
age
are
all the
young.
time.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
We all thought you were a freshman. Didn't we?
freshman.
You are not 30.
She's been. We already established she's been married. She lived in New York.
Yeah, she's.
Are you really 30 for
Show
real?
me your driver's license. She already did this to us.
We're almost in the same generation.
I are really 30.
Oh, wow. Okay, I got 5 years on you. I'm younger.
Oh, you are? You're 6
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
Guys, we're not supposed to have fun here.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's supposed to be serious.
Everyone toned down the fun.
No.
Cody, you
Not when I'm around.
You trip me out, Cody. Like I cannot sit near you anymore. I'm glad this is almost done.
I can't watch him because that flipping thing, man.
The pen thing.
Oh my
that
goodness.
gets me.
I have tried
He's
to,
pretty
man.
talented.
I've been
Did you
playing.
see this
I've been
guy?
trying to play it. I can't get
It's
it.
the Chinese Culture Club. He had it where he was like spinning it twice up here and then catching it over here, and the whole time that's all I could watch. I don't even know
That's
what
why I
they
didn't have any
want.
questions.
Yeah.
I was impressed with their vice president is,
White.
no, she's crushing him.
Vice president can be white.
Well,
It's
She's
okay.
also a twin, she's in my, she's
Chinese
one of
culture or
my
whatever I'm saying.
Japanese.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that from
Hi.
the president.
Question hearings? Yes.
Oh, Chantel.
She's a character.
30 years old.
30 years old. All she cares about
30.
members.
Are you?
About that people.
Is it SWEA?
It is student
What is-
WIA,
What does WIA stand for?
Wisconsin Education
Educators
Association.
Educators.
Education. My bad.
You guys, you're discredited, so you can't talk to us at the meeting if you don't even know what your fuck's name is.
Wow.
That's wrong.
I'll just stand over here.
Time
Oh,
out.
X.
Yeah,
Spin straight for the corner.
there's chairs outside.
Really, just kidding. It's right here. I could have read it from here.
And you're in part, what, do you have a executive role?
She does.
Are you the president?
No.
I am the president.
I'm the treasurer.
And you don't know the club name?
Oh.
Yes, I do.
Welcome to the Student Assumptions Committee. I'm sorry, it's Allocations Committee.
Oh,
That's
come
good.
on!
That's 5 points. 5 points. Good job. Let's see if we can go for a 10 point at some
All right,
point.
I'm trying to get there. All right, so welcome to student allocations. I'm Nick Erd, the controller. You're gonna have 15 minutes for your budget. 10 minutes of that, you're basically gonna tell us what your club name is, what you guys do briefly. The majority of that 10 minutes, we want you to go through your line items, basically why you're requesting the amount you're requesting, and then we're gonna leave 5 minutes open at the end of the hearing for any questions from the committee members. So after you guys.
Okay. Well, we're Student Wisconsin Education Association. We are the major education organization on campus as far as for education majors. We are the hub out of the College of Education. The dean kind of comes to us and asks us to help out the smaller education organizations because we're the ones that have been established, I should say. And we are the broadest, so the other ones are very narrowed in on a specific component, whereas we're the broad organization that oversees all facets of education. We have 3 primary goals that we stand by. Our number 1 is professional development. So providing professional development for future educators to provide them with the opportunities outside of the classroom to prepare them for future educator for their positions. Another one is networking. We feel that getting to know each other is really important, and providing other networking opportunities with professionals that are out in the field is extremely important, especially when you're looking for those jobs. It can give you an upper hand if you actually know someone. If you came to a meeting and all of a sudden maybe an administrator was there, that way you at least can name drop a little bit. And our third one that we strive for, I guess it's a little less important, I think, but is just overall like well, I shouldn't say it's less important. I say we don't do as much of it as what I would like to do, and that's community involvement. This year we've strived to try to do more community involvement. We redid an elementary school playground back in September, where we just essentially bought paint and we repainted their blacktop and we raked their leaves and we swept their playground out. And it was right down at Reed Elementary School. And it only took like 4 hours to do, but it was a lot of planning and stuff like that. But we just need the manpower and the warm weather to be able to do that kind of stuff. So I wish that we could do more of that, and we're trying to do more of that next year as well. Okay. Moving on to our line items. We have an
I just have one question for you. Brian. Do you guys know what your budget is this year?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know that it is a lot lower.
No. Well, 2012, so last year, you guys had a budget of $2,200. $2,200. You guys ended up spending $2,561. So you guys had a negative $312. Then after you added the prior year cash balance, you guys had a negative $274 balance at the end of last year, which then carried forward into this year and deducted from this year's budget. You were only allocated for this year $623. So you guys knew that?
I did not.
Okay, so it's only $623 minus your $274 negative balance from last year. So currently you guys have $265 in your account.
Okay.
So I just want to let you know, because what happens is for some reason the accounts will let you spend money even after you have no money.
Okay.
Because it's based on credit. So you guys have $265 in your account currently.
Okay.
After this meeting, we should talk about one-time requests so we can make sure that we don't go negative again.
Yep.
Just something to talk about. Just want to throw that out there for you.
Okay.
Something that we're gonna
Because we do have our account, just going off this too. We have a statement through the actual person in the dean's office at the College of Education gives our statement of our account for our monthly account.
Mm-hmm.
And on the last one it said that we had $2,000 and some dollars. And I don't know where that's coming from exactly, because we do have separate funds that come in because we have dues, which we're going to get into that for as far as fundraising.
We'll talk about this completely separate. I don't want to
Okay.
take away from your budget. I was just letting you guys know that you guys have less money than you're allocated because of your negative balance from prior year. Just so you guys can
We'll
keep
make
that.
sure that we don't go over now.
Okay. So our first line item is student assistance. We had talked about this for a great period of time at our executive meetings about whether executive members should be paid. And we went back and forth on this, but we had came to the conclusion that if we do get approved, it would be for a small amount, not a large amount throughout the year. But the president total for the entire year of $600, and the other positions a total of $400 per year. And we calculated that out for how many hours per week that you actually put into the organization, and we have our regular executive meetings every Sunday. We have other meetings as well. So we're putting in at least 5 hours of work per week. So then we calculated this out to be, and that was underneath minimum wage. And the reason why we put this in here is because I heard a lot of excuses, well, I have to work, and they commit to the organization, but then they have to work, and the quality of work is not as what we expect. So we want to say that this is your job. This is a job that you are partaking in, and hold them up to a little higher of a standard. And it's not a lot of money, but it's something that's out there to hold them up to that standard. Our second line item is supplies. This is an action-packed thing. This is our largest one, but colored paper, we looked at the Staples catalog in Rhiannon's office in order to figure out these items. And so she didn't have the discounted price, so these are full retail.
Did you say Rhiannon's?
Rhiannon's. Yep.
Bruins or?
Bruins.
Wetzel. The one in the OSA office has the Staples.
Yeah, she's got this.
They both have one.
They do?
Yeah.
Rand's has the discounted one, but in the OSA office. But anyway.
Okay. Because she had to look up the prices, she said, and she couldn't look them up in the time frame. So. Okay, so the colored paper, that's $17.50 per pack, and that's 2 packs per semester. So that's those giant assorted packs of Astro Brights. Bulletin board banners. So we have a bulletin board by the College of Education and Human Services right out the dean's office. That's $35 per year. That's just the outside of the banners, and that's bulletin board supplies. And so every year we update our bulletin board every month. So that way, at least once a month, so that way people know what's going on, and we kind of do it according to the theme of the time of the year. $4, so tax and other supplies. So tax is $24.
Taxes, the tax are $7.50. Everything that's $7.50, and then coming up to the photos, we want to put pictures on our bulletin board, and I calculated that based off of the Walgreens website because they have fairly cheaper printing than other places, and it was totaling $20 for the whole year. So, and then going to the next item is markers. We figure we'll go through about 10 packs in the whole semester because those markers don't last very long. So $3.50 a pack, $35. And then we needed to get blue tape to hang up our posters in all the academic buildings, which is $5.50 a roll, needing about 8 rolls for the entire year, $44. And then we will purchase a pack of thank you cards for both.
Okay, so the thank you cards, we do this for every meeting. So we have a panel of speakers that comes to our meetings, and we generally like to do at least 3 speakers per meeting. So that way we have a panel. We have an elementary school, middle school, and high school. That's what we try to do. That way we have a wide variety, because we have a wide variety of education majors that are coming. And that's the only thing that we give our speakers is just a thank you card. So that way they have some verification that they spoke for their school district, and also that's thanking them for coming, so that we kind of keep the bridge there. Okay. Whiteboard markers.
Yeah,
we don't have to go through all the specifics. Okay. Okay, so basically, the other thing that
wanting you to go into.
There's one thing down here though that is a one-time expense.
Yeah, that's fine. You can have that in your budget. It doesn't have to be taken out to do a one-time request. It can be part of your budget as long as it's specified.
It is part of our budget, and it does say it's one time.
That's fine. I would more so like you to go over the miscellaneous expense because that seems like travel to me.
Okay.
And also, did you guys go over all your figures with your items?
Yeah, I did.
Did you look through it? Okay, instead of having you continue because there are going to be some questions, we're going to just stop you.
Okay.
Anything that, because what we do is typically when you're talking, we're listening and we're just going and finding stuff right away.
Okay.
That we're going to ask. So I'm going to, we're going to split 5 minutes for you guys, 10 minutes for questions.
Okay.
Miscellaneous expense.
Yep.
Is my number 1 flag. Only because corn maze, holiday cookie decorating, brewer game, and scavenger hunts. That seems like travel to me. That's not a
Okay.
miscellaneous expense because you're going to a brewer game. That's like something that you pay for it. Also, what is the members' contributions to trips like that, to like the brewer game? Like you obviously have busing,
Yep.
carting, whatever. So what are the members of WEA or whatever your acronym is that you guys use for attending these sort of trips?
Okay. So the seminar, I'll start with the professional development seminar and then I'll just work my way down.
Okay.
So the professional development seminar, we have a professional development seminar that the state puts on where we can go to a conference and sell at a certain event. But the member contribution there, we're asking for $50 per person, but they have to contribute, I believe it's $100. So we're asking for half, just so that way it's a discounted price because that way it's more expensive. And I believe that we were asking for, I'm trying to figure out how many people here. 15 people.
Okay.
So, and that's roughly what we've historically, and that's how many representatives that we have had in the past that attended this event. So we came up with the average of how many attended, and that's what we came up with there. So we're trying to give a discounted price for them for that, because we didn't know where to put that, whether that was travel, because that's a professional conference itself.
Okay.
That doesn't include the travel in there, so that was going to come out of the pocket as well, of the members getting to there. Down there for the $950, the contribution for our members, basically we needed, for the cookie decorating in particular and some of these other stuff, they're stuff that we provide supplies for. And the brewer game, we would just wanted to prorate some prices, like we'd have to look on there for group discounts. But I know for bowling, we tried to go to a bowling social this year, and in order to reserve a lane, we had to have a down payment by an individual. And so we ran into problems that way, like where, we didn't have funds. So the club would be paid back. We would be charging, like, we'd be spending that money right away, we'd be spending that money, but then we'd be getting it right back by our members. So it'd be coming right back into our account. I don't know.
But, and I get what you're saying, but I'm saying if I was a member of WEA,
Yep.
what would I pay to go to the brewer game trip? What is my out-of-pocket?
The out-of-pocket for you would be, we would provide the transportation to get down there, and then they would have to pay for their ticket.
Okay. That's mainly what we're talking about.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. Travel we can figure out for the most part.
Okay.
Advertising and notices seems pretty steep, so if you want to talk about that.
Yep. Okay. So, the semester magnets at $65.50. We had gotten magnets this year from Vistaprint, and we had 50% off from Vistaprint. But that was $65.50 was what we were charged for. I believe it was 500 magnets, and we gave that out at Taste of Oshkosh. And at our meetings, we have the magnets just sitting out where people can grab them. So that was the price for the magnets. The extravagant posters, and we're calling them extravagant posters, they're just professionally designed posters by Reed Marketing. And that costed us $20 this last semester to have them design a poster for us. That way they looked, professional and nice. Because I feel at least one professional poster for the semester. We create our own meeting posters and we print them out in black and white. The cost of pens, we looked that up on, I believe that was Vistaprint as well.
I just want two other things that I was going to mention. One, the student assistant things, and I understand the thinking behind that, but
Yep.
it's a UW system policy that you actually can't pay club members,
Okay.
presidents or vice presidents or treasurers, because if you think about it, we have 123 clubs on campus.
Yep.
You requested 3,000, what you guys admitted is not, and 100% is not really, as far as like hourly, it's like 420. Yep. But if you think about it, that if every club asked for $1,000 to pay their exec board, it would be $140,000 of segregated fee, and the collective total of seg fee this year is like $835,000.
Yep.
So it would be over 10% of the total allocable dollars would be just to pay the exec board. So
Okay.
they have ruled that out, except for
Because I just was wondering, because Rob and some other organizations
They're
have-
different because
okay.
they're non-allocable, so like
Gotcha.
they don't get their money from us, they get their money from seg
Gotcha.
fee. So if you wanted to do it that way, you would have to your OSA recognition would have to change.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to get money from us, you'd have to go to seg fee, and that's how like OSA, like
Yep.
the OSA president's paid, but they're paid through seg fee, they don't get their budget from us.
Gotcha.
So that's the only way you can pay club members.
Gotcha.
And then the other thing is on the back page, you talk about fundraising and how
Yep.
you guys have a separate account.
Yep.
If you're gonna request funding from allocations, you have to show that you're using the fundraising dollars to offset some of your costs.
Okay.
In this one. So like I see that you get you were at $3,000, and you guys spend it on community events, that's fine. But you still have to show that you guys are having those costs
Yep.
associated with it, just because otherwise you get to a thing where clubs are, not you, I'm just
Yep.
saying that just in general concept, I have to play devil's advocate as part of the job.
Yep.
But clubs could be banking on a ton of money and they could have $30,000-$40,000 sitting in a reserve account.
Yep.
But then they come to allocation and request $10,000 or whatever.
Yep.
And they could fund it themselves, self-sustainable
Yep.
kind of a thing. So that's the only thing I want to caution you guys on
Okay.
as you guys move forward with. Because a lot of clubs do have separate accounts,
Yep.
but then they tell us in their proposals like what they spend it on as far as why, they usually offset some of their costs. They say,
Gotcha.
well, our fundraising goes to buy the Brewers tickets for our members or something like that.
Gotcha.
Something else.
Because I don't know where our separate account actually is, to be honest, because it's run through the College of Education. So I don't exactly know
How do you
that.
access it? If you wanted to buy something?
If we have to buy something, we have to take a receipt to the College of Education.
So like the
and then-
secretary there, Laura.
And then they actually we have to give them the receipt with all our information on it, and then they have to cut us a refund check, and I believe that's through a DPR form.
So is that really fundraising?
Well, it is because we have like T-shirts. What we do is we have sweatshirts that says, or we did Dine to Teach some years, and some we sell the shirts, and then the shirts are at a profit for us.
Okay.
And then we did sweatshirts,
Okay.
which they have handprints on them.
And the reason why that is, we couldn't pay for that is because we can't give students, like, let's say they request $10 for a sweatshirt, and then they turn around and sell it for $16. Well, they paid for their costs with
Right.
allocable dollars, and they made a profit off of student money.
Well, what I'm really getting at though, is not necessarily that, but if you're getting money from the College of Education, they're getting that from somewhere.
No, we're getting that from ourselves.
No, I think what it is it's your money.
It's
the
our
club's
money in our account.
But they're governing the money.
Okay, okay.
So they're eliminating you having free access
Yep.
so that somebody can rip them off.
Okay.
Just take walk
Yeah,
away.
'cause we have-
I've seen that in some other departments.
Because we have,
Okay.
because we have
That's where
members
I was
dues,
confused.
because student WIA is kind of different in a little bit, because we are associated with a union. But we get $5 if you do become a paid member, which the majority of our members are not paid members. I would say less than a third of our members are actually paid members. So if you become a paid member, this just means that you get discounts on these professional conferences, and then they can get liability insurance through the union. So we don't get any benefits necessarily from that, but we get $5 because the dues are $31. We're actually the cheapest in the state, and I kept it that way just because $31 is enough for a college student to pay for. But if you become a paid member, we only get $5 for that. So last year we had 130 members, or I believe it was 150 members that we had last year that were actual paid members. So we get $5 for every one of those members. Then we get checks cut from WEAC, and that gets deposited in our education account over at the Department of Education. And then so does our fundraising dollars. So we sold sweatshirts through Eagle Graphics. They designed it for us. And then they gave us an upped price, from their price that they could make them at. They charged us. They said that it was a little bit more. So that way we would get, $4 per sweatshirt or whatever it amounted to. And then that profit then went into our account over there.
I'm gonna look into this a little bit more, and I know that you approached me after the fundraising meeting and we talked a little bit. I'm gonna look into some of these things, and
Okay.
I would like you guys to, one of you or both of you, doesn't matter, schedule a meeting with me or Ryan Hackbarth for
Okay.
either next week or the week following. It needs to be before the 17th though.
Okay.
So, because the budgets are due by then,
Okay.
and we probably need to go over this a little bit more in depth before we can actually make a decision on that.
Okay.
Right? But thank you guys very much for your time.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
So, setting an appointment up with Rayanne in the OSA office.
Rayanne?
Rayanne Wetzel in the OSA office.
Okay.
She's, just have her set up
Yeah.
a meeting with either me or Ryan is fine, just to go over your budget.
Okay.
Would you happen to know what other groups or other institutions are doing in terms of what they get for usually
The dues,
allocated?
or for a student
Right,
unit.
what then may be allocated
I
in
know
terms of their typical budgets?
we're one of the largest, so I will go off
Okay.
of because as far as our membership numbers, we're actually the second largest in the entire state. So I'll go off of Stevens Point because they're actually just a little bit larger than us right now this year. Because Madison is actually smaller.
Okay.
But Stevens Point was allocated $8,000, I believe.
Okay.
This last year. But it all depends on the numbers and how you play
Okay,
it.
all right.
So last year they only requested 600, and the reason being is because they figured that we can just get by with, because they didn't want to do these community events and all this other stuff. We relied a lot on our personal checkbooks, and with our exec members actually become underclassmen, they just can't afford to pay out of pocket. So we actually had to realize how much money we were actually spending.
Okay.
Because I already spent $400 on my checkbook this year,
Which
in
is
the
not
organization. So
you want students to do. Okay, thank you.
So have a meeting set up with,
Okay.
Thanks.
So next week or the week after?
Next week or the week after, as long as before the 17th, is perfectly fine. Thank you guys for coming in.
Yep, no problem. And I'll learn the name of my organization. I was close. Educators. It could be educators. You never know.
When you make a
I
meeting,
could totally
meeting with Rhiannon, it's very important that she knows which club it is.
Oh, see what she gives me? I was president of a different club.
Alright, if you want to pass your 15 copies down this way.
For me, I won.
Yeah. Decided to bring in the big guns for this one. Yeah, give me something nice to stare beside. I love the faces.
Oh, yeah, 15.
We need all 15.
Okay.
This isn't the full committee, we just have to have 2 voting members at every budget hearing. Anyway, welcome to Allocations.
Hi.
My name is Nick Erd, I am the controller. You guys have 15 minutes. Everyone else here is student, faculty, or staff, by the way. You have 15 minutes. The first 10 minutes is going to be tell us what your club is, what you guys do, very briefly, and then we're going to spend the majority of the 10 minutes on the individual line items, so like travel, food, whatever, what, why, whatever, how you got your numbers. And then the last 5 minutes is going to be for questions from the committee, so you guys can have a seat.
Okay. How long have you guys been in here for? Hours?
Well, this is our 7th meeting, and this is our collective, 40th hour?
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for taking your time to be here.
Cool, no problem.
Just let us know when you're ready.
Oh, you go ahead.
I already said to go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My listening skills.
That's okay.
Not so good. So as you guys know, we're the Women's Bowling Club. We are the only women's bowling club on campus. My name is Stephanie, and I'm president. I've been on the team for 3 years.
My name's Cassie. I'm the treasurer. I've been on the team for 2 years.
My name's Katie, and I'm an incoming and I'm a freshman, basically.
So what I'd like to talk about is the basic idea of the Women's Bowling Club, what we do on campus, how we're improving and how we're growing. Cassie would like to talk about the finances, and then Katie was going to talk about what campus life is like, including the bowling team. So that's kind of how we were thinking about doing it. We could always do your
That would be the recommended way, is
Yeah.
the way that we want.
Okay, we talked to
Just the line items is more specifically what we want to know, like travel, how you got your numbers, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
I'm sure that everyone kind of with the bowling team probably does. And then we can
Yeah, and we can read, a little bit about your goals and that type of stuff later on. So if you could just, explain that.
Basically,
Just do the itemized?
basically the reason why we want you to do the line items is because when we're not deciding anything today, we have to go into a meeting later to decide.
Okay.
And then what we want is we want you to tell us why these sort of things. We can read the stuff, but basically if you have something that will say, oh, they said they needed X amount of dollars for this, we'd rather have you talk about why you need a certain dollar funding versus how you guys placed in tournaments or whatever. I mean, that is important. And
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
probably in here. We can read that part of it.
Definitely, yeah. When I talked to Tony, do you know Tony?
I've talked to him multiple times. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when I talked to Tony, he wanted us to kind of deviate, but that's fine. That's really fine. So for the first thing, for our itemized income, we do a lot of fundraising. We have dues this year, which is new compared to last year. This year we're going to ask $15 a semester, so a total of $30. That will give us $300 for the whole team for our side account, extra money for food, for tournaments, for gas that might not be covered if the budget were to be cut like I know it was last year. We always do a Titan invite ball raffle, so we host our own tournaments, and that ball raffle the Pro Shop is kind enough to get us a ball at a discounted rate, and then we sell raffle tickets. So everybody that comes to our tournament can pitch in. Normally we've gotten about $225 from that. And then something new that we're gonna try this year is Culver's fundraising. I mean, who doesn't like Culver's? So we're gonna try to work one of their nights to see if we can get some money that way. And then, did you wanna talk about the travel?
Yes. Initially, in the start of the season, we have some fees that we need to cover. We have the USBC sanctioning fee, which allows us to bowl as a team nationwide. And then we have WCBC conference dues, which is a discounted rate of our dues that we pay for each tournament. And then we have various Warhawk, like the Warhawk, the Titan, various other tournament fees that we pay in the beginning of the year before we're allowed to bowl in those tournaments. When looking at the travel, we take 7 people to each tournament. We have 10 on the team, we take 7 to each tournament. We calculate the mileage between Oshkosh and wherever we are going. And then we take our personal vehicles because it's less expensive than taking the fleet vehicles from the university. And so we do our transport cost as far as gas calculated by mileage. And
you do know that the mileage rate that's given by the university includes gas prices, right?
Yes, that also includes the
Depreciation of the vehicle and everything.
Yeah, we did figure that out. However, we do our personal vehicles.
It says 42 cents a mile is calculated along with gas prices, so that is incorrect.
Okay.
It's because the one, like for example, when you rent a fleet vehicle, you get charged 42 cents a mile.
Okay.
That includes your gas. You
Okay.
don't have to actually pay gas when you use a fleet vehicle.
Okay, I was misinformed. We've always done the personal vehicles. We haven't had anybody that would be comfortable driving those big vans around.
And the only time that you can get reimbursed for personal travel, it's kind of a newer thing this year, with the SUFAC meeting that we went to.
Okay.
It's a UW system policy is you have to actually request to use a fleet vehicle, and the only time that you can be reimbursed for a personal vehicle is if you couldn't get a fleet vehicle.
Okay,
So like if they were full or whatever, like if you try to get a fleet vehicle for next weekend and they're like, we don't have any, then we would reimburse you the mileage reimbursement of 42 cents a mile.
Oh, so now they're trying to focus more on the fleet vehicles and less of the personal vehicles? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially for clubs.
Okay.
Because it's easier to budget per mile times the mileage that you're using to the trips.
Okay. It's
So-
fun when you go to these meetings and
It
you
is.
learn something for the first time.
Did you go to the budget manager meeting?
The budget manager meeting.
the initial one we weren't informed about, and then
Which
the one following. The very first one about the budget.
Was that the one on the 5th?
Yes.
Of October? Yes, we tried to go to that one, however, we were on our way to another tournament,
Okay.
and nobody else
At
could
the budget
represent.
manager, well, okay. Never mind, continue. That's fine.
Okay.
No, it's just if you missed the manager meeting, you were told to come and meet afterwards so that we could have a one-on-one and kind of give you like a brief thing. Did it?
Yes, I emailed Rayanne and told her about that we couldn't make it, and that was as far as the emails went. I asked Tony about it, and Tony said he didn't know
No big deal.
about it, so I apologize for
No,
not
don't worry about it.
knowing about the fleet vehicles, but, so for the future, we can budget for that, maybe we can work something out where we can
We'll
redo it and
adjust
resubmit it.
No, we'll just adjust it for you.
Okay.
And then and if we have any clarification questions, we'll just ask you.
Oh yeah, please do. That'd be interesting to see how that'll change our budget.
And then we have food costs. We're not allowed at tournaments. We usually start from like 8 in the morning until maybe 4 or 5 in the evening, so we don't have a period of time where we can eat lunch. So we usually stack up a food bin, and we ask for money for food for that to fill the bin of like Pop-Tarts or snack items that we can use throughout the day while we're in the tournaments, because otherwise we don't get to eat.
And we're not allowed to leave the facilities or else we are disqualified from these tournaments.
We also have our lodging costs. It's very difficult to find a hotel for as many people. We budget for 3 rooms for 2 nights, so Friday night and Saturday night, budget 3 rooms a night. And it's very difficult to find one for under $120, especially in the places that we go, like Wisconsin-Dells is new this year. And
The Madison ones are pretty expensive too.
yes, so we budgeted $600 for that, for the majority of them, or all of them, except for the Titan and Bite, because it's in Oshkosh, and we don't need to stay anywhere other than our own homes or dorms. And that brings us to our total cost in the end.
Another thing that I'd like to say about the lodging costs is we do have a male that's certified
coach of the team, and because he's not allowed to stay with us, we have that third room. So the 7 girls would fit in the 2, and then we have the extra one for him. And with this year,
You actually have to for any advisor can't share a room, so that's fine.
okay, yeah, and so that's why it looks the way it does, because with the last budget, it's really difficult, so. And the next one is capital equipment. We don't have any capital equipment for the bowling team, so I hope you guys like that big 0 there. Our team shirts, we are sporting our newest team shirts because, believe it or not, we get smelly bowling at the bowling tournaments. A lot of people don't think it's a hard work, but we do. So Cassie's got the orange one on, and Katie and I have the white ones. Sometimes they get snags in them, they get torn. A lot of the oil from the bowling alley gets on our bowling balls and gets on our shirts. So we just ask for $80 or for 4 new shirts in case they do. And a lot of the girls that come on the team are smaller than what we had last year. So a lot of them have to cinch up their shirts and do things differently, so to make it fit. So that's it with the shirts. It's really awesome for the next line, the facility rental. We bowl for free, basically, at the Oshkosh Lanes. We bowl Sunday nights, Tuesday nights, and Thursday nights. And at, I think it's like $3.25 a game. It's really nice. Plus shoes, it's really nice. Most of us have our own shoes, so it's really nice for us to get that facility for free. And part of us getting that for free is doing our Titan Invite Ball raffle. So that's really a big expense taken off of us. Do you want to talk about the personal items, Katie?
Personal items?
We're just gonna.
Oh yeah, tell me how do you want to do it?
No, just because I want to make sure that we have time for questions. That was about 10 minutes, and then we're pretty good at reading and figuring out where you get the cost from. I mean, obviously no one's gonna be like, we need supplies of $14,000. I mean, it's pretty well known, especially Tony does a good job of making sure that everyone's doing well with their budgets. So I'm gonna open the floor up to the committee for questions if anyone has any.
Yeah, sorry about the whole fleet vehicle.
No, don't worry about it. Hey, you're not the first, and you won't even be the last. I'll guarantee you. So it's just something that we like to let everyone know, because I did get multiple people that said that thought that the mileage plus gas, but gas is already imported into the 42 cents.
Okay.
So it's actually would be way less expensive than what you guys said.
That'd be really cool. We would have to get certified, right?
No.
We don't need.
You only have to do that if you because you're gonna take 2 fleet vehicles. Most likely. So you only have to get certified if you take the bus.
Okay.
There is a bus that you can rent, but you have to attend 2 training sessions to use it or something. There's something weird. It's not even worth it. No. Well, kind of. We have fleet vehicles like that students can drive, but you have to take.
15-passenger van.
Oh my gosh! Oh, the benches.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to take a training course for that, but not for the SUVs or anything like that.
Okay.
We assume as long as you have a driver's license that you know how to drive a car.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I hope so.
It's kind of across the board, if you kind of think. Does anyone have any questions?
So you have 7 members who travel with you, or?
We do.
Is that all your members?
We have 10 members total, but we only budget for 7 to come with us. There are only 5 that are allowed to bowl in a tournament at a time. With Baker style bowling, you bowl 2 frames a game. So we have 7 people come, so we have 2 subs out. If someone gets injured, if their thumb swells up and they can't fit in their bowling ball, if someone isn't feeling well, then we have 2 people who can sub in and take their place.
But it's 10 people on the roster.
And usually at these tournaments, it's very crowded. If we go to our bigger collegiate tournaments, like our Indiana tournament, there's going to be 10 girls probably from many teams from across the country down on the lanes, so you're in very tight quarters. And even with 6 girls, you're crammed into space, probably not even as long as this table with all 7 of your girls. You're basically in a line and that's it. So bringing 10 girls to a tournament would be a little bit excess. So we bring the 7 highest averages, or the 7 people who can go to the tournament.
Questions? Thank you for your time, ladies.
Thank you.
I'll contact you about when I figure out what happened. I have to like legally mandated to tell you if I alter your budget.
Okay.
So I'll send you an email. I'll let you guys know what happened with the travel, or what we decided on the travel.
Okay.
All right. Have a great night. Take care.
Some of us who bowl, I have beginner's luck every time. So. And I don't bowl that often, but every time I do, I have beginner's luck. So.
Nice. What's your highest game?
Whatever the perfect thing is.
300? That's
yeah,
it?
that
Nice.
thing. But that doesn't happen too often, but
Nice. You're
beginner's
gonna have
luck.
to show me your rings next time. You get rings for 300.
No,
They're in the safe.
it's all right.
Well, thank you.
Take care.
Yep, you too.
So you're confused in terms of a bus? You call the 15-passenger van a bus?
No, I didn't call it a bus.
She called it a bus.
She called it a bus.
Okay.
There's one, it's,
She called it a van, 15 van.
it's technically called a turtle bus. Are you MIS code?
Yes.
Is it MIS?
Or it's
When you sent me an email, what did it say?
IS.
yeah.
IS?
It's been always back and forth, and
You brought your own stapler.
Well, it was a process getting here.
Did you guys run? Or?
Sounds like it.
yeah.
All right.
So we were doing homework.
So you sent me a budget that says MIS.
Oh, these are, I don't know what these ones.
The club switched majors,
I'm
or
more-
the name of it.
I'm more concerned about what the club is called in the email.
Are you talking about emailing of the budget or
Yes.
emailing of?
I can't find it because.
Okay, I didn't send that.
Take a breath.
I'm really sorry.
Okay. So you did not send me a budget?
I did.
No, he did. But I have no idea what the name of it was. I'm pretty sure it would say MIS because.
Are you Edward?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because on here it says MIS.
Okay. And then what was it called last year? Because MIS is not on. Was it a club last year?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
Okay.
It should be the same because
It might be management information
Oh,
systems.
I got it. All right. Welcome to Allocations. My name is Nick Erd. I'm the controller. Everyone else here is student, faculty, or staff. You have 15 minutes. About 10 minutes or so is going to be basically tell us what your club is, what you guys do. Very briefly, that part of it. The majority of the time, for the 10 minutes, we want you to spend talking about
just one.
about the individual line items, what you guys are doing with the money, what you need it for, etc. And then we're going to leave 5 minutes at the end for questions. So if you want to go ahead, you guys have the floor.
Okay. So the management, it should be Information Systems Club. We are a club that's aware for everyone who's invited
College
to.
of business.
Yes.
Pretty much. We don't really open it up to the college unless you're a pre-admitted college, college business student, because it's more for our major than like everyone downstairs. We let everyone know about our events and we make them campus-wide events, but we're focused on the kids that are in the College of Business or being admitted to the College of Business. So we get our funding through fundraisers that we do as a club, with the College of Business also is involved in the fundraising. Besides that, our budget mainly comes from allocations. We do club speakers every other week. We go on tours and trips. We recently went to Lambeau Field and ended up having to drive ourselves up there because none of our funding came through with the College of Business, and we were unaware of pretty much this whole entire budget. We kind of got thrown into our positions, and we didn't really get told a lot about it.
Was there a reason you sent me a different spreadsheet than the templated one that was on the website?
No, I'm pretty sure I followed the one that was right off the website.
Did you fill in the exact template? Because I have something completely different than.
Yeah, I downloaded the template and I followed the exact one.
But you didn't send me the template?
No, I'm pretty sure I did.
I have this one. It says 2011, 2012 actual, and then the 2012, 13 request. The reason why is like all the line items are separate. These are different line items. I can manually enter it. I was just wondering if, for next time that you guys are doing your budget, or whoever is going to take your positions next year, just let them know that there's a template online for that reason.
I remember following the template straightforward, but I must have.
But the line items are different on the side. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, are the line items that we filled in then, like, are they all the same types of line items?
They're the same
just in different
type.
order?
They're in different order, which is like when 123 clubs send it, I copy it and I paste it into the master sheet, and I'll do it.
And like if every club sends
Right,
it.
and I can do it manually because it's not that many, but I was just, for next time that you guys are doing, whoever's in your position, just.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay, don't worry about it. Continue with your spreadsheet. Line items, please.
Alright, you wanna go over the line items?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
For our segregated fees, we average about 20 people a year for the club. We're one of the smaller clubs in the College of Business, and we offer prices from 15 a semester to 20 a year. So usually people pay the 20 a year, and we figured out just about an average of $225 that we would get from that. For travel, we do take trips. We just took a trip to Lambeau Field. Last year we took a trip to Miller Park. We were thinking about going to Bemis Company to get a tour of their IT department over there. So we do keep up with trips, and so we figured $300 for gas, and if we do get a bus next time, since last time there was not 8 people that signed up total for the trip.
Buses run like $225, so like if we take one big trip, we would get a bus for it. Last year we got a bus for the Milwaukee Brewery trip, and it was a bigger trip, so the bus was pretty much full, and that's why we needed that money for it. Where right now we haven't taken a big trip, so we haven't used our travel funds, but we take about one big trip a year, and that would be what that would be used for. I can't. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's so far. Professional services.
Yeah, that's we give gifts and cards to the speakers that come to.
That would be.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be under a different.
I don't know professional services.
That'd be under.
Because I didn't do this.
Yeah.
Would be under prizes and awards.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah, we give out prizes. I think to people who show up to.
Well, we give out like last year we got flash drives for everyone that was a club member, and so that was going to be our prizes. That our awards was we as a club give money towards that, and this year we're thinking about T-shirts, and so like just pooling the funds together to give one big present to everyone that was in the club, and then awards and prizes also goes with the speakers that we have come in and giving them thank yous.
Food is.
We have food for every meeting to attract people to our meetings, because sometimes speakers that come in are more, they come in and they don't just talk about IT, they talk about like project management, and we have a project management class that anyone in the College of Business can take, and it goes towards their major. So they can come in and they can listen to someone with project management, but to attract them to that, we say, hey, you can have free pizza. So it's useful for everyone that is applicable to the topic, and it's just an attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Food. I just had a question for you. It says that you plan on supplying. When is the food part? Because it says a total cost of $546. At the bottom it says, and having food three more events each semester. Total of events, 8 events. It will cost a total of $546, but you have $320 listed as your line item.
Well, it says they'll cover $17 extra.
Well, 546 minus 320.
Yeah, I know. Is that per member?
I don't know what's in the paragraph. I have no clue.
Do you have an extra copy?
is what we're requesting.
So they can look at it?
Sorry.
I'll take it back once you're done, that's all right. There you go.
So food, it says at the bottom, it will cost a total of $546. We will cover the $17 extra with our dues that we collect.
Oh, that's
members.
my fault. That's just a typo. That was supposed to be 300. That was supposed to be 346, and then it was supposed to be $16. That's just an extra. That's just a bad part of math on my mistake.
So it will cost a total of 346, you're saying, is what should be there?
Yeah.
And then $16 extra you'll cover.
How many of that is? How many times do you have weekly meetings, bi-weekly meetings?
Bi-weekly meetings.
Bi-weekly meetings, and you're bringing pizza to each meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
problem. We can only
And
have-
okay.
we can
I'm sorry.
only give food for the first meeting of the year as like a kickoff thing, and then the end of the semester for like students that graduate. We want to make sure that we send them off with a party kind of thing, and then beginning of the spring semester and end of spring semester. You can only have 4 meetings that are funded with allocations money for food.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and then how many?
Is this a new rule from last year?
It's more enforced. It's not a new rule. It's more enforced
Okay.
than it was in prior years.
It's been,
Heavily
people have been taking
used.
advantage of it, so we're having no
Okay.
forces.
Because we were told to put in a meal requisition form and get the
For
money.
every meeting that we have.
Yeah.
And that's why we requested that much.
Okay.
We can fix our budget and resubmit it.
If you no rush, as long as it's before the 17th, preferably next.
Before
How about we say?
the
How about we say by Monday?
So we're allowed four meetings
four
of
meetings
pizzas.
of pizzas. Correct.
Okay.
And then how many members time? Let's say a pizza for every 2 or 3 people or whatever times kind of thing. Just do the math on that and then just resend it to me.
Okay, we always get 6 pizzas.
What is your membership?
We run about 25.
20
20 to 25 people.
Okay.
Right now we have 20.
Other questions for MIS? No?
That was one.
Pretty straightforward? Okay, we'll work that food stuff out with you then.
Okay.
Anything else, Ron?
I'm sorry we're so unorganized.
No problem, no problem. All right, you guys have yourselves in one free.
Thanks.
We can walk home this time.
I'm gonna go eat and burn off all the eat all the calories I worked on running here.
You gotta put it back.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're like this.
Thanks, you
The
too.
last one of the day. I forgot what it is. You guys all set? Come on in. Last one. I hope my night pass works in the slick, because otherwise I'm
Anywhere?
Mine
Yeah, right here.
walk with you.
Right here?
Okay. Karate club?
Yes.
Very nice tie, just to let you know.
Thank you.
Do you have one more?
No, it's just the 2 of us.
Are we staying up on something else? Okay. Yeah, those are fine. All right, welcome to Allocations. My name is Nick Erd. I am the controller. Everyone else here is either student, faculty, or staff. You guys have 15 minutes. First 10 minutes, we'd like you to tell us what your club is, what you do very briefly. The majority of the 10 minutes, we'd like you to go over your line items and tell us what you guys need and why. And then we're going to leave 5 minutes at the end for any questions that the committee may have, so you guys can take the floor.
Okay, well, as you said, we are the Wisconsin-Oshkosh Karate Club. Basically, we practice the martial arts of Tang Soo-Do, and we work towards bettering each student as a rounded individual. We look to better them both physically, mentally, and spiritually, so to speak. As in, Tang Soo-Do is a more traditional martial arts. We don't focus on the competition. We focus on learning the martial arts, learning the history of it, and just the whole tradition of it. And then we also compete with it to gauge our skills against others. We go to one tournament per semester or 2 per academic year. Mostly we end up just practicing and volunteering and working on our skills and training. We do that, and most often we end up training for a full semester and testing at the end of the semester for our next belts until you get into the higher ranks. Along with our time that we spend in training, once you get to our upper belts, we start sending our upper belts over to our city club, where they then learn to also teach, and they get to work with the other younger students and work on other aspects of their person. What we end up looking for to run our club monetary-wise is basically for our trips down to Dubuque and back for our tournament. We have 2 of those a year. We're looking for money for our gas and for food, and then just the entry fees to get in. I believe our fee to get in comes out to $560 for our fees to get in. It's about $35 per person. And then we have about $400 in gas, and this is total for both trips. So we'd split this between both of them. $400 for gas, and we have about $560 also for food when we go down that we're looking for. Then we're also looking for pads for our new members. We have white belts that come in. They're not allowed to spar or do any of the competitive stuff their very first semester. But once they pass their first testing, they are allowed to learn to spar, and then they need pads. We buy them the first set of pads because of the hygienics of it. They have to be used personally, and they sweat in them and everything else. So we buy them their first set, and then if they wear out, then it's on them to buy their own set after that and replace it. So that, I think, is down here in equipment and furniture. They're about $400, depending upon how many students we get in. This year we had 4 new students, which would be about $100 per person for pads. And then we have, we have 2, what is it called, one-time expenditures that we're asking for this year. And we are looking to replace our rolling mats, basically. We have 6 of them that we've been using for about the past decade, and they're finally starting to really fall apart. They're tearing in half, and we're holding them together with duct tape. We use those for our demo practices in the summer for advertising, and then we also use them to train in rolling, falling, and takedowns and other ground self-defense techniques. So we're looking to hopefully be able to replace all 6 of those. And then we're also looking to replace our rebreakable boards, which we use as advertising mainly, but we also use it to practice our own skills of breaking. Those we use for Taste of Oshkosh and for Wreckfest. It helps us cut down the cost of buying boards and bricks, because basically what we do is you have to break such and such board in order to actually break a board. So not everybody gets to break a real board, thankfully. Otherwise that price goes through the roof. And then that also brings us to the advertising and that stuff. We're asking for about $180 for buying boards and buying bricks to be used during Taste of Oshkosh and Wreckfest. That went off really well this last year for us. We bought a bunch of boards and we cut them down to size, and we put our advertising on them, and people broke them and they got to take them with them. And we had roughly 70 or 80 boards this last year, and we got rid of all of them within a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. So we had a huge line to try to break them. So we're hoping to be able to do that again and possibly get a few more. That way we can get our word out a little bit more. I'm pretty sure that's what we're asking for in total. In total, it comes out to $4,400 for all of it. I'm not sure if we really have anything else.
No, just we're not asking for it, but we charge per semester. We charge $60, or no, per year it's $60, or if you just want to do one semester, it's $35. And then for some like fundraising and stuff, last year we did a kick break-a-thon where we went out, got pledges. They could either pledge how many kicks we could do per minute, or like say 5 cents per kick, or for how many boards you could break, say 25 cents per board. And then we held it up in Aldi, and we videotaped the whole thing and put it online, and then so that whoever pledged us would be able to see what we did. And then afterwards we took our totals back to them and collected whatever they said they would give us. And how much did we get?
We ended up raising roughly $1,300, and $300 of that we ended up donating to
was the Humane Society?
Yeah, I believe it was the Humane Society, and we ended up donating that to. The rest is what we use to offset fees and everything else like that for our incoming members. We're also, along with that, that was the first fundraising we'd ever done. We're definitely looking to expand that. We have a couple of things in the works with Buffalo Wild Wings, possibly Waterfest next year. So we're looking to expand in that direction. And just to make sure we clear it up, the $60 or the $35 per semester, that's something that the students pay, and that's not money that we're looking for from you guys. That's out of their pockets.
that about covers it.
Questions?
I just want a clarification. Okay, so you're purchasing safety equipment,
Yes.
but that's university equipment, correct?
Are you talking about the personal safety
Yeah.
equipment? That would be for the individual, as in it's theirs.
It's theirs?
It's theirs, because we have helmets that we did try to use as a club, and then we ran into some hygiene issues where one person ended up getting some head problems or like hair
Lice.
lice, and all of a sudden that helmet was out of commission and we had problems, so we basically had to give it to him because we didn't want it to spread through the club.
The only problem with that, and this is gonna be easily handled by swapping. You then should request money with your fundraising that you guys say that you guys have like dues or whatever for like the karate, whatever association. You can request money from allocations for dues, and then from your club fee, the 35 or 60, you can have helmets purchased that they can keep. What you can't do is you can't take money from everybody on campus, because that's what the segregated fee money comes from, and you can't, if equipment is purchased, it has to be able to be used by the entire campus. So like, for example, the paranormal investigation discovery club or whatever, if you wanted to use an infrared camera, you can go to the library and check it out. Or the game club, you can go to the library and check out the game boards. Because if it's bought with by the collective campus's money, it has to be accessible by them. So we don't actually provide, like uniforms, for example, that stays with the team, or stuff like that. But helmets, if it's going to be kept by the individual, can't be used with allocable dollars. But it's an easy fix by just swapping a request for paying for that with your student dues, and then requesting money for your funds to the Karate Association or whatever. It's an easy fix.
So
It's weird because you can get the same amount of money, but you have to spend it on different things.
Yeah, you just gotta change that wording.
Government is really stupid as far as accounting.
Alright, so
purposes
we
go.
just need to switch the 180, or, where is it? No, the 400 up to our student fees.
Yes.
Push that up to the student
Yes.
fees and dues. Okay.
Yes. So we'll do that. We'll deliberate on that part of it then.
Okay.
We'll work on it. Any other questions for Carter? Thanks for coming. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank the committee for putting up with 28 hours of us, over 40 hours of the meetings, and it is over with. So thank you for your time and dedication.
The bill will be in the mail.
Oh, the mailbox is in the corner.
Pretty cocky for guys actually getting paid, huh? Big bucks.
I don't get paid big bucks.
So for the next meeting, Jim requested that someone on the board brings him some brownies, some sort.
right?
Huh?
It's you, you're
No.
Say,
He said that one of
We all
y'all.
brought stuff. You haven't brought anything. You
No,
brought
he
salad
said that
yourself.
one of y'all was gonna bring him some brownies, and he just wanted to make sure I reminded y'all of that. And he likes the ones that have the milk chocolate to it, so just kind of keep that in mind.
Tell him he was supposed to say
And
that.
this is recorded, Jim.